Hello friends. So I've been working on the channel pretty much all day, trying to figure out what I'm going to do, lining up some content. One of the first things that I'm going to do is bring in a turkey frying video that I did last year. But this time I'm going to cut it up a little bit and try to make it a little bit more fun. So that's going to be the first video that I'm going to do. I'm going to chop it up into segments and make it kind of bite-sized so that it's not so much to take in at one time. And I'm going to release it over time. So I'm not going to release it, all together. It'll be released every day or three. I'm going to try to make all of my content released in 3-day increments. That way it works well with the YouTube algorithm. Also, I've renamed the channel. It's now Mayhem with Markham. I've got a friend of mine that I consider to be pretty knowledgeable about this type of thing. So I'm taking a little bit of his advice and I renamed the channel. So anyway, lots of mayhem to come. So I'm starting to embrace the brand. I've been identifying some mayhem projects, and I've got some friends of mine that are lining up some mayhem projects. So I think this is going to be really, really fun. So in the first video here, this is going to be sort of an intro to the video. We're going to be doing turkey frying. So have fun, enjoy. Make sure that if you're not already subscribed, that you subscribe. Ring the bell. That way you're notified when I do post the videos. That way you don't have to keep coming back and checking. As long as you're subscribed and you ring the bell, it'll let you know whenever I upload content. Alright? So thanks for all your support. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I appreciate it. And y'all take care. Alright, so hi, I'm Joe Markham. I'm going to be showing you guys how I prepare my fried turkeys. This is the way that I do it. It's not the only way to do it. There's a lot of expert videos out there, but this is what I've done. This is what my father taught me to do, and it works. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So let's talk about safety a little bit first off. Whenever I mention to people that I fry turkeys, the first thing that they see is the house burning down. I've fried close to 50 to 60 birds, and I've only had one boil over that was very minor, and it was controlled because of the way that I set everything up. So, and that was just one out of 60. So the first thing that I do when I start off is I clean everything up. Food safety is important. I've worked in the restaurant industry for a short period of time when I was younger. So I spend a considerable amount of time cleaning. Everything in front of you here has all been cleaned. My sink has been cleaned. And I'm going to go over a few of the things that I gather before I actually bring the bird out of the refrigerator where it's been resting for a few days. I've got some rubber gloves. These come in handy whenever I'm seasoning the bird because my seasoning is quite hot. It's not hot after the bird's cooked, but it is quite spicy to the nose. So I want to protect my hands. So I've got the rubber gloves. I will go with a bottle of Tabasco sauce per bird. The birds that I'm doing today are going to be 20-pound birds. So I've got one, and I've also got another one just to back up. I would rather have more than not enough. And then I use the Tony Chaudhry's Creole seasoning. I've got several different types, but this is the type that I'm going to be using today. I use a lot of paper towels. When you're frying a bird, the last thing that you want in your hot oil is water. So we want to make sure that after we clean the bird up, that we've dried it off really, really well. So that's what this is about. Here you can see some of my other implements. I've actually got quite a few of these pans. I've washed them up inside and out. I've got a grate. This grate has been washed up, and I use it for after I'm pulling the bird out. I slide the grate up underneath the bird and set the bird down on this and allow it to drain. That way I'm not getting oil everywhere and oil all in my pan. These pieces here came with my kit, my fire kit. This goes in the bird, the bird sits on this. This is the hook for pulling the bird out and putting the bird in. And then here's just the thermometer that I use. So what I'm going to do is endeavor to get the oil up to about 375 before I drop the bird in, because what's going to happen is the bird is at cooler temperature and it's going to drop the oil temperature down. And what we're going to want to do is cook the bird for 3 minutes per pound. So next up, I will prepare the bird, I will trim it, and we'll have a short video on that. Alright, so what we're going to do for this first bird is we're going to trim it up and get it ready to go into the pot for the first time. You notice how easy that's coming off. That's because I've got a really sharp knife. So I'm gonna leave a little bit of that skin on there, but yeah, all that fat just comes right off. Okay. Now what we're gonna do, this is the first bird. What we're gonna do is we're gonna wash it, and then we're gonna place it Now the next thing that I'm going to do is put him on the stand. So there's the stand. The stand's going to go in this way. Just like so. Alright. So in the next video, we'll show putting this bird in and then measuring the water. Alrighty, so here's our turkey for the last step. What we're going to do is we're going to just put him in the pot here. It's a nice good fit there. So one of the things about setting up your burner is you want to make sure that you set it up on a level ground. And you also want to make sure that you set it up on something that's not flammable. If the oil does boil over, you can see some remnants of oil boil over here. You don't want that to catch fire. Have a fire extinguisher handy just for safety. I've never had to use one, but have one available just for safety. Also, if you have some wind, it's a good idea to put a block around the burner. That way, the wind doesn't blow out the burner. I've had that happen a couple of times, and I've lost temperature. One of the things when you're cooking these turkeys is you want to make sure that your temperature, once it drops, once the bird goes in, that you're able to bring that temperature back up to the proper cooking temperature, which for me is around 350 degrees. I want to make sure that I keep it around 350 degrees. That's why I bring it up to 375, because I know that I'm going to lose about 25 to 35 degrees when I drop that turkey in. Also of note, the bird is completely thawed out. You don't want to have a frozen turkey go in to oil. That will cause a fire. Nice fireball. I like to see the videos where the firemen do it, where they have a completely frozen bird and they dump it into a pot that's just completely full of oil because it's just big, huge fireball. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fill the pot with water with the turkey in it, and that's going to establish where the oil needs to be at when we turn the burner on and bring it up to temperature. So in the next clip, you'll see what that looks like. Alright, so what I've got here, I've got a 1 gallon container of water, and it's just regular tap water. So I'm going to just pour it in, and the goal of this is to bring the oil up to right at the surface of the bird. Because what's going to happen when it starts to fry, it's actually going to bubble up. This will actually disappear, so you don't need it too high. If you're frying multiple birds, I recommend you use the largest bird that you're going to be frying. This is the largest bird. I think it's almost 21 pounds before I trimmed it. So what we're going to do, I've got a 1 gallon container that I'm just going to measure out and keep track of how many gallons that I'm using. Usually the peanut oil is what I use. It comes in a 4 gallon or 4.5 gallon container. So we'll see how much this one uses. This is the 4th gallon. So it looks like right at 4 gallons of oil. That'll do the trick right there. Okay. Now, the container that I've got is 4.5 gallons. So I'll have a little bit of oil left over. Let me just show you what it looks like if it's not a nice round figure. So I'm going to simulate pulling the bird out of the fire. Let her drain a little bit here. I'm going to put that grate right over the top there. And put the rest of the bird drain off there. Now, what we're left with is the oil level. So you can see what the oil level is after pulling the turkey out.
You want to be a little louder, the wind is kind of...
One of the things that you can do is take like a skewer stick. Take a skewer stick and measure where that oil is going to be, and then just mark it. It's going to be about right there. Alright, so if you don't have fancy measuring equipment, you can just take a skewer stick, just like that. Okay, well when my oil gets to that point, just like that, I know that I have enough oil in the pot. So the next step, what we'll do is we'll go and we will re-clean our pot and get the oil poured in, fire it up, and start bringing the oil up to temperature. Alrighty then. Well, I've just finished editing the video that you've just watched, and I have a whole new appreciation for all of the work that YouTubers actually put into editing their content. Now, most YouTubers have someone else do the work for them. Still, that's a pretty big job. I'm hoping to be able to just take videos and edit them myself. I'm a one-person show. So anyway, it was fun. I learned a lot, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember, like and subscribe. Comment below. There's also an option that you can like the video if you liked it, or if you didn't like it, go ahead and say you didn't like it. That's fine. My feelings don't get hurt. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the box below, and I'll do my best to answer those for you. Alrighty. Thank you so much, and more mayhem to come.